Hello, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I am back with a bonus video of a couple more goal planner options. I have been trying to squeeze these in before December. That way you have time to watch the reviews, pick the one you want, order the one you want, and have it for the start of the prep work that we're gonna work on in December. So I am here with a bonus video. I've got 3 more options. Hopefully this is it, with the exception of my Moxie Life, which has shipped by the time I'm filming this video. I haven't decided if I'm gonna make that its own standalone bonus video or if it's just gonna be a part of the Vlogmas vlogs. It depends on how long it takes to get here. Either way, I'm here with 3 more options. I have the Get Organized HQ. I have the Beacon, which you may have never heard of because this was actually created by a member of our Patreon community who messaged me about looking at an advanced copy. This is not even the final version, but I'm excited to share it with you. And then the Amplify printable goal setting guides. So this is a coil, this is a bound, and this is a printable. We've got 3 different choices today. As always, the timestamps will be in the description box if you want to jump directly to one option and not watch all 3. But let's jump in with the Get Organized. I'm excited about this one because y'all know that I love a coil. I also love a good motivational quote. And a lot of you messaged me and said that this might be a good option for me. Full disclosure, I did already open it and flip through it because, oh, it's upside down, because it arrived right before we went out of town and I wanted to look at it. I didn't want to wait till, I wasn't going to film this video until we got back. But I'm excited to flip through it again with you and kind of share my thoughts. So again, this is the Get Organized HQ planner. It is a hard cover. There is another cover option. This is the one I picked. I mean, I love the cover. This I absolutely love. It's my colors, it's bright, it's quote, I love everything about it. It is a coil, but it is a plastic coil, but it feels very sturdy. You know, like there are some plastic coils that you're like, that is from Office Max and it's not gonna hold up. This coil, although plastic, feels like it could stand the whole year, which this is a yearly dated planner, so it would need to. It's white, which I actually really like. So not the best coil, but it's better than no coil. And in my opinion, this is better than like a wire coil. And then the size, this is a 9" by 9" square. So that's interesting. I've never really seen a planner this size before. So it's relatively portable, I think so, if you're trying to take it places. If you haven't watched the video that I did, which I know I've referenced a million times at this point, but really, if you haven't watched the video about 7 tips to picking a goal planner, I watched that one first. Know your answers to those questions before you watch these reviews. I think that video is really helpful. And portability is one of the things that I talk about in that video. So let's get to it. Again, this is a dated 2023 product. So it's got a pocket here on the inside. That pocket feels, it's really like you could fit a lot in there. It's not super stiff, but it also feels a little flimsy, like it could rip very easily. So intro page with the year this planner belongs to, a letter from the creator, an about me page. I mean, this is fun. I don't really think that this is necessary. It's kind of feels like kind of a waste of a page, but it kind of makes sense because then you have a 2-page, the year at a glance. You've got 2023 and 2024. So you could kind of plan out some future events if you've got weddings, trips, you know, whatever you've got going on. Then you've got the how to use it pages. So she's got pages that tell you how to plan your days and goal setting tips for the rest of the pages. Same thing, goal setting tips, how to use the rest of the pages. And then you have kind of like a brainstorm page before you really get into it. So the way that this planner is set up is that there are 6 focus areas, and then you set goals within each focus area. And what I like about it is they don't force them, right? Like you get to pick whatever the categories are, and you could use category ideas from a million and one of the other goal planners that we've looked at. But like you could have a focus area that's like the example that she has on the prior page is like your spouse. And then you could have a focus area that's like your physical space, right? And you get to pick, there's 6 different ones. This is the color scheme. So you've got this pink, this yellow, this teal, this lighter pink, this kind of like grayish blue. The camera is making it look way more blue than it does in person, and then this like light purple. So those are the 6 colors, and there is color coordinating throughout the planner, and you'll see the stickers at the end. But so you pick 6 focus areas, and as always with any of these planners, you do not have to fill up every goal. If you do not want to have 6 focus areas, you do not have to. And then within the focus area, you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, what made me happy, what made me sad, things I want to improve. If I could only improve one thing in this area by the end of the year, I like that. And then what will I let go? I like that too. Then you pick 8 goals within that focus area that you want to work on throughout the entire year. That could be a lot, right? If you think about it, 6 areas times 8 is 48 goals. But depending, this is really, in my mind, this is a goal, and this is more of like the steps that you're taking to get to the goal. So they're much smaller. Like in her examples, these are much smaller, so not to feel super overwhelmed. So I'm not opposed to there being that many. You just have to keep the mindset that these are gonna be smaller things, and this is like the big goal focus area. I like how it's broken down, I really do. And then you have over here, you mark whether it's a habit or project. There are stickers that go here that make sense to fill in. I like that too, whether you're acknowledging whether this is like a one-time thing that you're gonna finish, or is this a habit that you're gonna work on. So you have those 6 pages for all of the 6 focus areas, and then you have just kind of a brain dump at the end. So that's all in terms of like prep work. The hard part here is there's not really any questions to help you figure out what these 6 areas might mean, right? If you're somebody who needs any sort of guidance in figuring out what you want your goals to be, this planner is not gonna give it to you, but I do like how they have this broken down at the beginning. Then we move into the actual like planner pages. So there's a tab for the new month. It is thicker, it's more of a cardstock. It's like one solid color with a quote, which I love, and then a laminated tab at the top. And the tabs are like bigger so that they have to double layer instead of being able to see all the months. It doesn't bother me, just in case you wanted to know. And you can see the 6 colors there as well throughout. Let me quickly just comment on the colors. I do like the colors. Y'all know that I like color. I prefer all bright colors, but I do like this color scheme, and I like that the planner includes color. If you're not a color person, this is not gonna be the planner for you. It's not neutral, clearly. All right, so then we get into, it's got the same quote on both sides. Then we have the January like overview page. So you have 1 key habit for the month, which I like. If you've heard me talk before, I always recommend only 1 new habit for each month, but you might have more than 1, especially if you think about it, like how many of these are habits. I mean, you got 48 to pick from. You're basically saying only 1/4 of them can be habits because there's 12 months. I wish there were maybe like 3 habit sections instead of 1, but 1 key habit. Then you've got stuff for like finances. So you've got bills, savings, and income. I wouldn't use this because I do all of my budgeting digitally, but you've got your finance stuff, and then you've got a space for a monthly affirmation, which I like. I also really like the fonts in this planner. Like I really like the fonts. Then you have your monthly layout. It is a Sunday start, but there are 0 holidays. So it's very, very plain in that regards. But again, not neutral at all. So you've got this hot pink, which is the January color at the top, and then you've got teal on the boxes and on the little mini calendars. So then you have the monthly goal setting page. And so we've got all 6 focus areas again. And what she says in the prep, like the pages that tell you how to use it, is to pick one of your like annual goals, like from here, and put it here. I like that idea, and you have more than enough, right? Even if you filled in all 48 of those like little goals, you have more than enough if you only pick 1 per month. What I wish, what I would like is if these were not required. Like if you could pick and color code the focus areas, because there might be months that I want 2 of focus area 1 and none of focus area 2, if that makes sense. Now you could like cross it off and redo it, but that is also coming from a place of I've been setting goals for years and I feel good about that mindset. You might like that it's forcing you to pick 1 in each area every single month. And then it has a place to give a rating. I don't like that that's at the beginning, because I feel like I'm not giving it a rating at the beginning, right? I'm gonna flip back and do that at the end. I wish it just like, we could just pick it. But that is like the goal setting for the month, is that you pick 1 in each category. Now, I think this would be totally up to you, is if you want this habit to also be one of these, or if you want it to be something separate, that's an option. Then you have another notes page for the month with just these like light pink dotted lines. It's not dot grid, but the lines are dotted. Then we get to the weekly layouts. And the way that she has the weekly layout set up, I think is really interesting. She's got these little buckets that say 1, 2, and 3, where the order in which you go through your day should be these are the things you do first, these are the things you do second, these are the things you do third. And the way that she has this structured is in the bucket 1 section, you've got H for habit. So you would write your habit, like whatever your habit is for the month, you'd write it every single day. O stands for objective, and she's got space. There are no lines here. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that on the camera. There are no lines here, but she says that if you wanna write 1 or you wanna write 3, don't write any more than 3, like your top 3. I wish there were just some lines there. And then P is for passion, including you to prioritize something that you're passionate about, and I really do love that. And then section 2, bucket number 2, are things that you have scheduled, and there are 14 lines. They're like, it's really faint, it's hard to see. And they're not there's no hours on them, but in the like description section, she encourages you to use this section almost as like an hourly. Here, let me show you. And you can like map out the things that are times. Here's the example. So you can see that. And then the wish list are the things that you might like to get to, and that's bucket number 3. So it's a Monday start. It is dated for the entire year. I don't know if I would use these pages. I don't know. I'm not opposed to it and letting it only be prioritized with goals. Like this is not enough space for me to use as an actual planner, but if I was only focused on goals, maybe I would use these pages. I don't know. So you've got one of those for every month or every week in the month. And then you have a reflection page. So you've got a section, who made a difference in your life, your favorites, some themes, and then an overall check-in from the month. And then we move into February. So we've got a new quote. And then February, we switch to this yellow color. So each month has its own kind of like color scheme. And that continues on. There is no quarterly check-in. Like you go straight from the March reflection into the April overview. There's no like quarterly check-in on your goals. So if that's something that you like, you would have to build that in yourself somehow, but there is no set quarterly check-in. And then we get to the end of the planner, and there's really just a bunch of notes pages. There's no like annual reflections at the end. And we will do, there's not that many notes pages, but we will do a pen test here. Then you have the stickers. And so, like I mentioned, these are color-coded stickers. So these are the ones that are habit or project, and there are 8. Like you could do all habits or all projects for any of your goals. There are enough stickers to do that. And then, because they come in all of the colors. And then there are all of these color coordinated stickers that you can use throughout your actual planner that match up with all of the colors. So you've got some circles, some hearts. Although there are none of those pink hearts. Are those on another page? Nope. There are none of the pink, like the light pink hearts. Arrows, little mini flags. You've got some quotes and like decorative type stickers. Then you've got these like kind of raindroppy type stickers in the different colors. Then you've got these that are like little tiny strips. These are cool. I think these are probably meant for like the monthly, like something going across multiple days. I kind of like those. And then you've got some suggestions for the categories if you wanted to use these and like put the stickers on the categories, but you don't have, right? You don't have to use those. You could make your own categories. And then some more like decorative stickers. So there's 4 pages of stickers, and then you've got another pocket here in the back. I think this is a great option. If you are somebody who likes color, if you like the structure of being like, I'm only gonna pick 6 in each category every single month, I really like that. If you could see yourself, especially using these weekly pages, like if this would be enough space for you, I think this is a great option. Here's the one holdback, and we're about to find out how bad it actually is. The paper does not feel great. Like I don't love the feel of the paper. So let's do a quick pen test. This is my favorite Papermate Flare, which is what I would prefer to write with if it doesn't shadow too badly. If the Flare shadows too badly, I switch to the Sharpie pen, which I don't like as much, and this is a brand new one, which means I really don't like how thin it is. But that's the Sharpie pen, and then my favorite, like one of these pens, I always forget what it's called, the clicky ones, is the Sharpie S Gel. Okay, nothing smeared, everything dried really quickly. Actually, it's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I mean, the Flare definitely shadows a little bit. I would probably still use it and it wouldn't bother me. It actually, I know it's hard to tell on camera, but it's not as bad as it feels. Like the paper feels very thin, but I'm kind of impressed with how much it didn't shadow. So again, I think this is a great option. If you are a coil person, you like the color, you like the structure. Also, we're at the point in the morning where there's a nice line across the filming space, and that's just what we're dealing with today. Daylight savings messed up my schedule. So I'm excited to share this with you. Again, this was created by a member of our Patreon community, and she sent me a message and asked if she could send me one of the advanced copies to just look over. She did not ask me to share it. It was actually like the sweetest message. I want to share with you because if you are somebody who likes bound, I think that this setup is very, very cool. Now, as of the time I'm filming this video, it's actually not for sale yet, but regardless, when the video goes up, whether it is or isn't, I'll leave the link down below either to sign up to be notified when it goes on sale or to actually purchase it. But it's 2 pieces. So this is like the yearly prep piece, and then this is the quarterly piece. So let's start with the yearly prep piece. So this is just like a little notebook. That comes in cream. It's this like kind of fabric. It's very, very, very thin, but that almost doesn't matter because you're not worried about the portability. This is something that you're gonna do at the beginning of the year and keep it at home. So it's got a lot of instruction pages. So like how to use this planner, what does this planning system look like? Then you've got 2023 and 2024 at a glance. Then we get into a bunch of different categories, and it's really interesting the way that she has this set up. So she's got like overarching theme categories. So this one is your core, and then there are categories within the categories for you to rate on a scale of 1 to 7. You know, most of these planners we're rating on a scale of 1 to 10. I think that's really interesting. I did hear once that by making it an even number, you're forced not to pick the middle number. Like doing it like this, we tend to gravitate towards that middle number and not admitting to something being good or bad. But I heard that somewhere. That might not be an issue for you. Just something to think about. If you do tend to use this planner, picking a 4 feels like that's not very helpful. Think about maybe picking either a 3 or a 5. Anyways, so we've got 5 categories within your core. Then you've got a category of connections. We've got 5 categories within connections. And then we have your compass, and there are 4 categories within your compass. And it's interesting. I love how she talks about that these are the areas we think of first. However, like she purposefully puts them last. I really like that. So then you have 2 pages to identify your priorities for the year. The prep work does kind of remind me a little bit of the power sheets where you've got like a category and there's like instructions on how to answer that page and then space to do that. So we've got 2 pages for priorities. It's completely blank. I do wish there were maybe lines or dot grid of some kind for us to like have some sort of guidance, but it's 2 completely blank pages. Then you have setting your goals for the year ahead. Wow, we're on a theme of 6 goals. So another planner where you've got 6 goals that you pick from. I like that there is no pressure to pick anything related to these categories. I think these categories are just to get you thinking about where you're at in your life, and then you can use that information to set your goals. Also, in case it's not obvious, this is very neutral. It's got this kind of like light tan. Otherwise, it's totally neutral. Then you've got action plans for each of the goals. It's just 1 page, and you've got the description, why, what challenges you might face, how you will feel when you accomplish, how will you celebrate, and then a breakdown. I love everything about this page. I just wish there was more space. I wish we could have 2 pages of this, and like these are on 1 page, and then this is, especially because this little notebook is so small, I wish that we had like 2 full pages, like a full page of a breakdown and all of these on their own page. And then same thing, maybe some dot grid or some lines. But in terms of the content here, absolutely love it, absolutely love it. So you've got one of those for all 6 of your goals. Then you've got a place to do a vision board if you want to do a vision board. Then you've got a page kind of about time management and how you can make time for your goals. Then you've got let's do this and some different resources for you. Then we move into monthly layout. So I may have been a little bit wrong that this was a standalone, because I feel like you could just use this. Like if you don't like the other quarterly thing I show you, I just don't know if you can purchase them separately. My guess is the answer is yes, but I don't know for sure. So you've got monthly layout for each month. So it's a Monday start, which I love. Very neutral. Again, no holidays whatsoever. But you've got this month's motivation quote and then notes. So my guess is that you're kind of just mapping out when you're gonna do these goal action plans. I kind of wish there was maybe like a habit tracker here or something a little bit more like, besides just a calendar, I guess is what I'm saying. That's why I do feel like you need something else. Like this is not enough for goal setting, but depending on how you set goals, it could be enough for you. So you've got 1 for each of the months. This is a 2023 dated product. Yeah, because it starts on a Sunday. And then you've got some notes pages in the back, and everything is numbered. The paper feels good. It feels really nice and smooth. It definitely feels thicker than that other paper. There are so few notes pages that part of me doesn't want to waste one in case I send this to someone else, but I'm gonna be honest, I think I'm gonna keep this for myself, so I don't think it matters. So we've got the flare, oops, got the Sharpie. I should really set aside not a new Sharpie to do these pen tests, because once I've used them a little bit, they definitely become thicker than that. Okay, nothing smeared. Again, this paper feels really nice. It's really nice to write on. It's actually about the same as that other paper. It is so interesting to me. This paper feels so much thicker than the Get Organized paper, but the shadowing is basically the same. So that is the little like goal prep book annual page. Now let's get into the in-depth planner pages. Like we've got daily pages in here, and this is a quarterly. It is pretty large. It's like an 8.5 by 11 are the pages, but it's got this like nice outside that's like nice and squishy. I love the way this feels. It's very luxurious. It comes in this peach color, and then it also comes in a black. I obviously went for the color because I like color, but it is large. I think it's still pretty portable. but it's pretty thick for a quarterly planner. So let's go ahead and jump into this. This product, however, is undated. So while the yearly one has those monthly layouts that are dated, this is an undated product. So we've got our table of contents. There's a lot of pages in this planner. So it starts with a guide kind of telling you how to use this planner. We've got routines and affirmations. Affirmations, morning routine, evening routine, custom routine. I kind of like that. Then you've got a space for your annual goals, right? So whatever your goals were that you put in here, you can rewrite them here. I like that. And then your quarterly intentions. Oh, I love that word choice instead of saying your quarterly goals. But you've got space for all 6 of your goals. I like that. Then you have a page for each month. And again, because it's undated, it is going to be one of those planners where you've got the monthly at the beginning, and then all the weeklies, and then all the dailies. So you have 3 ribbons though, so you're able to mark all of those. So you've got your monthly page. So you write the month at the top. Again, it's undated, time considerations, and then you've got like, basically, I actually really like how this is laid out. You've got 3 boxes. This is gonna be really hard to see on camera, for each goal. And then it's got 4 little tiny boxes at the bottom. So my vision is, right, I might have 3 steps for this goal number 1, and then I can check off my progress. Actually, you know what it is? Well, you could probably either do this weekly things, or just like check off your progress as you go. Either way, I really do like the way that this is set up. I think the only holdback here, and it's just a reminder if this is something you consider, is that you don't need to fill up all of these boxes, right? That's a lot of steps for 1 month. Depending on what your month looks like, that's a lot of steps. So you don't need to necessarily fill up all of those boxes. Then you've got a habit tracker at the bottom with room for 6 habits, goes all the way to 31, which means on months that you don't use that, you'd have some empty at the back. And then this month I'm looking forward to. So I would keep my ribbon on this one. So you've got 3 of those, 1 for each of the months. Then you've got a page for a running task list. I kind of like that. This could just be like things that you have to get done regardless of your goals. Oh, actually, you've got a lot of pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages. Then we move in to the weekly pages. So this is where I would keep my second ribbon, would be on my weekly page. So they're labeled just by like week 1. There's actually nowhere to really write the date. It's just like week 1 of the quarter. So you've got my routines. How many days are you aiming to follow your routines? I love this. Y'all know if you're just starting a routine, trying to do it every single day is a lot. So setting a goal that might be lower than that, I love that. Which connections do you want to spend time with this week? Your top 3 personal priorities, your top 3 work priorities. And then you've got a space for the week ahead. That's a Monday start. I guess you could write the dates on here. And then what are you most looking forward to this week? I feel like this page doesn't have a lot in terms of the goals. Like you're not really carrying things over. I mean, unless you put them in the personal section or you put them here. Like I'm thinking about carrying over like these things into the weekly. But if you were using this as like your full planner, I think having this page is obviously really helpful. Then we move in to the daily layouts. Oh, I guess I kind of lied. I thought it was all the months and then all the weeks and then all the days, and that's not true. The days are after the weeks. I still would keep this ribbon on week 1 and then this ribbon on whatever day we're on, because we're gonna flip through as we go through the days, and it's still undated, but we've got 7 days after each week. So this one does have a place at the top to write the date and circle what day of the week. You've got all of your check marks, affirmations, morning routine, evening routine, review goals, a water tracker exercise, your top 3 priorities and other tasks. And then you've got an hourly section. I actually really like this layout. Sorry, I just realized you might not have been able to see the top. I just wish that it was on a coil, that's all. So you've got an hourly section, starts at 6, ends at 10 p.m. with it's very, very faint, but it's got little half-hour lines there too. And then you've got a space for the highlight at the bottom, and then you've got a big blank notes page. I think what I would prefer, besides it being on a coil, is I don't necessarily need a notes page for every single day. I would almost rather it have multiple days, and then could we fit like 6 months into a planner or something like that. But still, I do really, really like this weekly layout. So you've got 7 of those. And then you've got a weekly reflection page. So you check in with the number of days you did your morning, evening, number of days you exercise, what worked this week, what challenges, what progress did you make, what are you grateful for? And then you can go through your tasks. What are you carrying to next week? What are you delegating? What are you removing? And then you move on to the next week and you set up the next week. So again, I would keep this 3rd ribbon on whatever day we're on. So you basically like keep going through that process, and there's no like break in the month, right? It just goes from week to week because you did all that monthly stuff at the beginning. And then when we get to the end, we've got our week 13 reflection. And then at the end, you've got your quarterly review. So you check in with all 6 goals, and then you've got reflection questions, 3 pages of reflection questions. And then you've got just a couple of notes pages here at the back. The paper feels the same, so I'm not gonna do a pen test on this one. Yeah, the paper feels the same. And then you've got a little pocket back here in the back. I do think this is a really, really great option, which is why I asked her and I was like, am I allowed to like make a video about this? Because I think that this is like, especially if you like bound products and especially if you would use that daily layout, I think this is a really great planner option. And then last but certainly not least is the Amplify Goal Planning Guide. And this is a printable. If you've been around, you know that I love my Amplify Daily Planner. That's the daily planner that I use. It's my favorite. And some of these pages that are in here are in their actual planners, but some of them are not. Now, the pros and cons of it being a printable, obviously, is that you can just buy this once and print it as many times as you want. And so this is definitely a really cost-effective option if you're looking to save a little bit of money next year, but still want some structure. And then you are in control of what size do you print this out, what quality paper do you print it, do you go get it coiled at Staples? There are a lot of options here. For now, I just printed it on actually my lower quality paper in just black and white, just to look at it. If I decide I want to use any of these pages, then I would print it out on a higher quality in color. There's actually a lot of color on this in this guide. You can see pieces and snippets of it on their website, but again, I printed it all in black and white because I was like, if I'm not going to use it, I don't want to print it all in color. I also printed it all one-sided because that's what the easier thing to do with my printer at home. But if I was actually using this, truthfully, I probably would go get it printed at like Staples and get it coiled. So it is 31 pages total. However, a lot of the pages are kind of like they're not actually content pages, but let's start flipping. So you've got a cover page, you've got a table of contents page, a copyright notice, so you're not like, you know, printing this and selling it on your own, a letter from the founders, and then we get into the sections. So like those first 4 pages aren't really anything. And then there's these big pages that are kind of into the section. So we've got an introduction page, kind of some more like information tips kind of pages. Be do have, habits versus goals. Then we finally get into the process. So like, honestly, I don't even know if I would print all of these pages. Maybe the cover if I was getting it bound, but like, I don't know that I would need all these pages. This is where we really get into the process. So there's 5 different categories that are part of their process. So the first one is evaluate your life categories. And they have, and I've shown this before, but they have 8 of their own categories. So you've got business and career, family and friends, romance, which I think is interesting on its own, personal development, health and fitness, finance, recreation, and spiritual. You know, I've talked a lot about how I feel about categories. I think they can be helpful for some people. I think that they are unnecessary for some people. There's probably a lot of people that be like, I wouldn't use the spiritual section, or I'm not focusing on romance right now. Like I can understand why these wouldn't work for you. This is one of the pages that is also in my daily planner. This is a brand new daily planner that I just got. So like if I was using this planner as my goal for my goals, I wouldn't need, here, it's like, I wouldn't need this page in my goal planner too. Or I could do it just in my goal planner and ignore the one in my daily planner. I mean, there's a lot of options there. And this is focused on 3 months. I forgot to mention that, this printable. So the other thing that you could do is go multiply it by 4 and get that bound and have it for the entire year. So you've got this 3-month goals page, and then you've got your yearly planner worksheet. I almost feel like I would want these flipped. I would want the yearly planner before the 3-year goals. I guess another option for this is print this out, hole punch it, and stick it in a binder, which I could see myself doing that, and then I could move things around. So then you've got a brain dump page to just get some things out of your head. Print as many of these sheets as you need. Okay, so interesting. They do have you pick like a goal. So it is only 31 pages, but they are kind of telling you that you might want more than one of some of these. So then depending on how many goals you had, you might want to print more than one of these, put the goal at the top, and then a brain dump. There is like a little faint gray box under there. You probably cannot see that on camera. I mean, I wish there were like lines or dot grid or something here. Then you have some questions to ask yourself. So you've got a motivational worksheet. You answer some questions on a scale of 0 to 2. And then you've got holistic questions, and they want you to answer these about each goals. So again, you print this as many times as you want, for one for each goal. And then they have a page for you to come up with your own questions. I don't know that I would use that. I like being given my questions. Then we move into start. Now we're gonna start taking action. So this is just like a page, and it's saying like you just start working on the goal. There's not like any extra page in here. This is where I would want some kind of like habit tracker. But again, I do think, I didn't actually say this. I think that this is meant to accompany your Amplify planner, right? It's not meant to necessarily just live on its own. So you would just do this step in whatever planner you're using. Then you have set deadlines. So then we have these breakdown pages, which again, are in my quarterly daily planner. You could print as many of these as you want. So it's got space for 4 goals. So if I'm only picking 4 goals, then I kind of wish there were the right number of these prior pages. Like I wish there were 2 of these, right, for 4 goals. And then these questions, I wish there were 4 of those. I mean, that you could get that printed that way. I understand they didn't necessarily feel the need to duplicate it a million times, especially if you did only have 1 or 2 goals. Then we have these goal kind of further breakdowns for each goal. And again, this page only has 2 of them. So if you had 4 goals, you would need to print 2 of these. And it's interesting. It's got like this really faint dot grid around, like dotted line around it. Like you would cut this out and stick it into your actual planner, which I like the concept, but also that it's hard for this to stand on its own because it looks like I'm supposed to do that. So then you've got a space for the goal. When is it due? Which category does it fall into? Reward. Why do you want to achieve this goal? How will you stay motivated? Metrics to track progress, and milestones. I like this. Similar to what I said on that other planner, I actually kind of wish like this was a full page and I could break this down even more. However, I guess we did break it down over here, which I didn't really comment on the fact that 3 steps for breaking it down might be enough, but it might not be enough. I guess I just kind of wish these were combined. Like I wish each goal had its own page and it was like this plus this. Then you have a page for each month. So you would need to print out, obviously, however many of these, depending on how long you're going for. So you write the name of the month at the top, favorite moments, what went well, what didn't. This is basically just a reflection page for each of the months. Then we move into time management. So they've got tips about time management, staying motivated. Mostly this is just tips on time management. And then resources, they've got some books to recommend and a planner, and then join the community at the end. So I think overall, there's a lot of great things in this planner, especially if you're looking to save a little bit of money. I think that buying this and like printing it out as many times as you want can be a really great option. You can print it out what size, get it bound or not bound, put it in a binder, whatever works for you. I think there are some like small structural things that I would change about it, but I can understand why they decided to do what they did. I do think this is ultimately not enough on its own, which is probably what they were intending, right? This is meant to go with a planner. So just something to keep in mind. I don't think this is necessarily, but I guess that's all of them, right? Some of the goal planners do have a planner combined and some of them don't. So I guess that's not really that big of a deal. All right. I feel like I am very goal planner reviewed out after the last video and then this video, but hopefully you're finding these helpful and hopefully you've been able to figure out what you are going to use in the new year. I still have not decided. I literally have all these goal planners sitting around me and I've got to decide what I'm going to use in the new year. But if you liked this video, if it was helpful, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please click that subscribe button. I upload new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday focused on helping you achieve your goals. Thank you so much for watching. Where did those pens just go? Pages total, but that was a weird but. But they have 4, that's wrong, Laken, wow.